It is Monday, May 11th, 2020, and we are live here on Flippin Live. Um, Today we're going to be talking. Sorry, guys. I did not just wake up, but I'm a little bit out of it here, so I'm going to snap to it, drink some more water, play the theme song, and get going. But talk about a few things today. I had some eBay sales, a couple of Amazon sales, and I want to talk about more about the books that I was going through, the book box, and maybe a little bit more about Facebook ads and see what questions you guys may have today. So let's get started.
Flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live. We're gonna strive, we're here to learn and gonna earn. Flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, we're flippin' live.
Hope you guys had a good Mother's Day. I know that it's everything's still quarantined, so wasn't exactly a normal Mother's Day at all by any stretch of the imagination. But hopefully you were able to, if not spend time, at least Zoom or Skype or FaceTime or call with your mother. We went over and visited my wife's parents and dropped off a cake and cards and that type of thing. And didn't really do much else. Actually, yesterday we did drive out to a friend's house who had her birthday yesterday on Mother's Day and was turning 75. She's been quarantined. She's been quarantined in her house, basically, has hardly ever gone out since for about 2 months now. And she's kind of going crazy. She just lives with her dog. But yeah, so I hope you had a good Mother's Day. Sales were pretty good for me on eBay, and I also had 2 sales on Amazon, which is always nice. 2 merchant fulfilled sales, I should say. I had FBA sales. Amazon sales have been kind of up and down for me, but overall, let's see. As of today, I already have 2 Amazon sales, which is great. Yesterday, I had over $100 in Amazon sales. Most of that was FBA, but then the previous 1, 2, 3, 4 days. So from Saturday, what is that? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So Thursday through Saturday, all my sales were pretty low. So it's kind of up and down with Amazon. But again, as I mentioned in another stream, I'm not focusing that much on Amazon, or I should say I don't have that many things to send into Amazon. I haven't done a shipment in a few weeks. Either today or tomorrow, I'm going to list everything that I have down here on the floor here. I've got some CDs and audiobooks that I'm going to list, the last few things that I was able to pull out of the last Gaylords that I went through, and see if they'll accept all of them. Even if I do a small little CD, maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 CD shipment, that'll feel good to get that out. And I've got more books to go through, and the books that I've been going through with you guys, I have other tubs of those. And today I'll be picking up some books as well. So anyway, we'll see how it's going to go, or if I have more to send in for Amazon. But it was nice to get those 2 sales. I'll probably start talking about that. Yeah. Brian says he saw Mom but kept 12 feet away. That's good to hear. Let me share with you the 2 sales I had on Amazon. And again, just for context, I'm bigger into FBA than I am into merchant fulfilled, but I do have several hundred merchant fulfilled items for sale on Amazon. Most of them are CDs, the majority of them. I've also got it's probably over 50 books, 50, 60, 70 books. I don't know exactly. I have a small bookshelf that's not quite packed, but almost full of books that I have up for sale on Amazon. A lot of those are ones that it's like a split between older books that I've listed a long time ago and ones that I just listed like a month ago from a bunch of free books that I got. A lot of them are textbooks or school books, school related books. The rest of them, though, like I said, are CDs, and I also have about a couple dozen audiobooks up for sale as well. So, yeah, the sales from Merchant Fulfilled kind of trickle in. I get way more sales via FBA. I've got about 800, probably like 870, 880 items live FBA, which is low for me. I usually have over 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, but because I haven't been sending in very many shipments, that's a lot lower. And I've had a lot that I've had to list on, which is a good thing, but list on eBay. So let's see. So I sold a CD. This one here, Miguel Bose. It's in Spanish. Didn't sell for much. It actually sold for $350 plus shipping. So, but I think it's been sitting up there for a while. A lot of times the repricers. So I use Amazon Repricer, the free repricer, and I just set a minimum, and then I always match. I never undercut, but of course everyone else undercuts by a penny. So then instead of everybody just being at the same price, a decent price, they like to undercut you and just try to get the sale no matter what the price is. Which is why a lot of the merchant fulfilled items don't sell for me or take a while longer to sell, and why generally you have to have a bigger, like FBA too, but a bigger, especially with merchant fulfilled, a bigger inventory, because there's just so many big sellers that have aggressive repricing, or I would just say, I guess you'd call it aggressive, because they're just constantly going to undercut you by a penny until it drives the price way down. And sometimes, I'll have the same price as someone else, and then someone will pick me for whatever reason. Maybe I live closer to them, or maybe the condition either is better, or they liked my condition notes. I don't know, but variety of reasons. But oftentimes it's just I don't know. It's for reasons that I don't know, that it's hard to figure out. You might be able to deduce a few ideas from based on where your price is compared to others and how many other offers there are and that type of stuff. But sometimes you just don't know. That sold for $350. I have here that I listed it for $699, so I'm not sure if that's actually what I listed it for, but regardless, the price went down because of battling with other repricers. So I'll match them, and then they'll undercut me by a penny, and I'll match them again, and then they'll undercut me, and it'll just go like that until it goes down to a certain amount. A lot of the bigger sellers will go down to, so if you're thinking about getting a merchant fulfilled, that's the thing you have to consider, is because a lot of them will go way, way down for CDs, lower than makes sense for me to even bother with it. So you have to think about that if you're going to do merchant fulfilled, which I highly recommend, but think about how much competition there is. If the other competition are big sellers who have, I consider a big seller to have over 100,000 feedback ratings. If they've got 10,000 or 50,000, that's pretty big too. But definitely over 100,000 is a mega seller, is a seller that could be Goodwill, could be Thrift Books, could be for CDs, could be Declutter or their other company, which I'm blanking on the name right now, where they'll have thousands. I don't know exactly how many. They could have tens of thousands of items. They could have hundreds of thousands of items. They've got warehouses of CDs or whatever. They're selling books. And so they're willing to drive the price down because they just want the sale, because they're dealing with volume. So if you're doing merchant fulfilled, it's a good idea to make sure that there's a lot of profit there, whatever you consider a lot, enough profit so that if the price does go down a bit, that you're still going to make some money. And if you're using a repricer yourself, you should have a minimum or a floor, a minimum, a floor basically, so that it doesn't go too low. Yeah, Brian said his Amazon sales are down significantly, but that's okay versus last year. Yeah, I mean, eBay sales are up. If you're selling on eBay, people are buying a lot more from eBay because of the issues with Amazon and being slow about sending out shipments that are non-essential. They seem to be improving that, but yeah. I like FBA though because when I send it in, I'm done with it basically. That's really nice. And so I like um, currently, it doesn't make sense for me to do only FBA, but because there's just too many other things to sell for good money on eBay and sometimes on Merchant Fulfilled. But it's nice to have a big chunk of my business, and I would recommend of your business, being passive once you send it in. You don't have to deal with too much once the items are already in the warehouse. They're going to ship it for you. They're going to deal with the returns. Um, and the only thing you really have to deal with, the two biggest ones are repricing and removal. So if items have to be removed for whatever reason, then you have to deal with that, right? So if you want to avoid long-term storage fees, or you feel after a certain amount of time an item is not selling, it's not going to sell, you want to just dispose of it for 15 cents or get it back, sent back to you for 50 cents and try to sell it somewhere else, then that's something that you have to deal with, but that's not a big deal. It doesn't take up that much time. You can do all of that at one time, once a month or whatever schedule you set up, so the rest of it you just kind of forget about it. At least I do. um, you know uh, and stuff sells. So it's sort of magical in that way. There's a lot of headaches with Amazon for sure. If you go onto the forums, you go onto the Facebook book groups or other reselling groups, and you will hear plenty of complaints, and rightfully so. Absolutely, Amazon likes to just suddenly charge more money, or suddenly take away this, take away that, close this off, change the way they do business. That's just the kind of how they do it. They don't let us know ahead of time. Rarely, they usually just do it. So anyway, there's always going to be struggles with Amazon, but you can't beat the idea of them dealing with storing your items and then shipping them out and dealing with returns, etc. So anyway, so I really like having that component. That's why it's great for people who are just starting to resell, why they can get into um, uh, reselling relatively easy, low barriers of entry, is you don't have to spend much money to resell books, for instance. Good place to start, and then you can jump in, or you can build up your inventory without having to. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. You can spend a couple $100 and have a couple hundred books, listed or on Amazon. So let's see. Brian said, "Do you have free shipping?" No, I don't. All of your MF merchant fulfilled items. I don't charge shipping because the templates seem to be confusing versus eBay's method of calculating shipping. Um, no, I don't put free shipping on my merchant fulfilled items. They all charge shipping, so I just match the prices based upon that. And for some reason, my shipping is always different than other. My shipping costs are always different than others, so I have to go in there and figure out. After I list it, I usually have to adjust the price to match it, because sometimes I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if that has to do with the size and the weight of the item, where I'm located. I'm not sure, but anyway, I always have to kind of adjust that. The templates are a little confusing, but I've never done free shipping. And you always get a shipping credit, so it's worked out. It's worked out for me. So yeah, that anyway, the whole idea is to diverse. Well, anyway, to what I'm talking about, merchant fulfilled. So this was my first sale today, or not today, over the weekend, and then I had another sale, and this one is interesting. Um, I'm trying to remember. I think that's right. I pulled this out of a Gaylord, and it's actually a pretty popular item. It's called John Thompson's Easiest Piano Course Complete. And this one is a whole set here. And so it's got the 4 CDs, and then it's got a bunch of booklets that come with it. It's got 4 booklets here that the person can work along with as they're going through the CDs and learning piano. And actually, in the first book, I believe there's some writing in there, and I put that into the condition note. Anyway, one of the books has some writing in there, and I disclosed that uh, in the condition note, which I hope that the person read. I know when I used to buy a lot years and years ago from Amazon, and what was then just normal before they had FBA, I would always read the condition notes. I'd always want to know the condition of everything. So I don't know, excuse me, if this person read the condition notes, but anyway, hopefully they did. And this one sold for $15.56 plus shipping. So this was a nice sale. It's kind of big, as you can tell, and a little bit thick there. So I tried to fit it into the vinyl, the boxes I have that you can fold over for vinyl records, but it's a bit too long and a bit too thick. So I'm gonna have to find a different box for this one, a flatter box in the warehouse. If I don't have one, I'll have to locate one somewhere. But this was a nice sale. This didn't sit for too long. Actually, maybe like the end of last year, but this was one that I believe was selling fairly frequently. And it didn't go. I listed it for around $17, so it went for close to the price I had listed it. So that is good. Michael's here. Hello, Michael. Good morning to you. Alexander's here. Awesome. Glad you guys are joining us. Michael says, "Are you still getting a lot of free books?" Am I still getting a lot of free books? No, not necessarily. Oh wait. Well, actually, I don't know if you saw the last few streams, but I'm advertising on, doing a paid ad on Facebook. So I am going to be getting free books today at 11 o'clock. I have to actually message the person to make sure that that's going to happen. But we have 11 o'clock. I have 11 o'clock pickup from their house, porch pickup, I guess. And they said they have over 100 books. So I'm getting those for free. And that was from an ad I started running on Facebook on late Friday afternoon around 5 o'clock. And then a couple hours later, I got that message. So I will be getting some more free books. They weren't free technically because I had to pay for the ad, but I'm paying $7 a day. I have a $7 a day budget. So anyway, so technically I paid a little bit for them, but they're free, they're donated, and we'll see what they are. I'm excited about that today, and I'll share that with you guys today if there's anything good in there, or just in general what it was like, what I got. So I've been running the ad since Friday, and I got another message yesterday. I actually only got one message yesterday, I believe, in regards to that. Let me check. And that was a person who said that they had just, where is it? Here it is. They just moved into the area, and that they were glad to find me. And here we go. Let's see. Yes. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, 2. I got 2 other yesterday. 2 other contacts. So this person said, I said, pickups are free. Simply message us to set up a time. They gave me a thumbs up and said, "We'll do so at a later date. We have paperbacks. Thank you." And that was it. And then I had someone else yesterday who said, "We're new to the area. I'll make arrangements, drop off some books, etc." And I gave them my address. So like I was talking about yesterday, you got to compound your efforts, right? So it's going to... Okay. It's going to take a little bit of time to keep running the ads. I'm going to probably do it. I'll probably do it. I mean, I have it set up to do it till Saturday, but I'm going to extend that and probably do a few weeks, maybe a month, see how it goes. I'll adjust it as it's going to see if, I don't know. I might just leave it where it is, $7 a day, and see how that goes, because I got a lot of responses on Saturday and then a few yesterday, and we'll see during the week how it goes, if I'm going to get at least a few responses a day. But I got to give it a few weeks at least to run to see if I can sort of compound it, right? That these people that are telling me, "Oh yeah," because people say, "Oh, I'm excited," or "I'm glad I met you," or "I'm glad I found you because I want to donate some books, but it's going to take me a little while longer." So, that's how some people work, where they're not quite ready yet to donate, and maybe they're gonna do that in a week or two, and then those the efforts will show later down the road. So Michael said, I run Google Ads and I'm considering Facebook. Does your Facebook ad go to a website or does it go to your email? Um, so my Facebook ad is connected to my Facebook page. So it has, which is 510 Books. I have a Facebook page um, that, yeah, I have a Facebook page for my business, my local sale. And so they see 510 Books up there, and I actually do it for messaging for to get a message. So I have a little, message. There's a little messenger button to send me a message, that type of thing. I'm trying to get them to send me a message so that I can set up an appointment with them for a drop off or a pickup, versus just sending them to my what do you call it? To my Facebook page, or like you said, to a website, uh, or email. So I'm still experimenting with this to see what works best. But yeah, for now it's just going to Messenger, because my point of it is to just um, try to get people to donate, but also, like I was talking about yesterday, I want to um, try to build that relationship so that it's not just getting books from them and then the relationship is over. Hopefully, because what I'm running in the ad is not just, I say, hey, donate your books. Are you looking to donate books? Donate your books to 510 Books. I'm Andrew from 510 Books. We're a local bookseller. I say all that. And I say, uh, basically, the books that you donate to us, we will donate on our end 20% of any profits to DonorsChoose.org, which is a website that helps teachers fund classroom projects, right? So anyway, I'm trying to use that as a motivator to get people to donate to me. And then also, that's a good way to contact them again down the road, assuming that whatever they donate to me um, generates some profit, which, even if it doesn't, it probably is a good excuse to contact them again to say, hey, or if it doesn't generate that much profit, say, hey, yeah, some of your books were able to fund um, some classroom projects from DonorsChoose.org. I just wanted to let you know. Thank you so much. And also just to let them, just to say, hey, we have a local sale. So try to grow the relationship beyond just them donating to me. Hopefully they'll donate regularly. Hopefully they'll tell other people. And not only about donating, but about us having a local sale. Once I'm up and running again with our monthly sale, which I do, I had done 5 times before because I got the warehouse space. And either going to have one in June or July, depending on how things are going here. But yeah, hopefully that they'll become a regular donator. Hopefully they can come to the sale. They can tell other people. That's the idea. And hopefully I want them to follow my page as well. But this is mostly geared towards getting messages. It's a great time to get free books because spring cleaning is still taking place, and people tell me that they cannot donate their books anymore. Absolutely, which is why I'm doing it. That's partly why I'm doing it. Before everything was we were all quarantined and locked down, and a lot of businesses had closed, hopefully just temporarily. It was still a great idea, great way to try to get people to donate to you by running an ad. But as I talked about before, this is the ideal, unique situation where people, and just the friend we went to yesterday or on Saturday to give, drop some food off to and talk to, who's been quarantined for a while. It was her birthday yesterday. She said she's been, going through all her stuff, and she's like, yeah, I've got everything piled up in my garage to donate, but she doesn't have anywhere to donate it to. So, it doesn't matter what it is, right? I'm focusing on books, but people have got if you're into clothes, then, run an ad about clothes, about people donating clothes to you, whatever it is. But books are always the thing that kind of a headache to people. People love their books, but then the more books they get, they take up a lot of space. They're heavy. They're cumbersome. If you got a bunch of boxes of books, they're just kind of a pain to deal with. So people are glad. People are thanking me. They're like, "Oh, I'm so glad we just knew in the area. Glad I met you." And this other guy's like, "Thanks so much. Awesome." It's just funny, the response. Like they're going to give me something for free, but they're thankful. What? Okay. And so they're like thanking me for that. So that's a good thing. So I think it's a good opportunity to get in between the people who are donating and the thrift stores that are closed and try to grab some free books, and I'm gonna try to build some relationships off of that. I'd be curious, Michael, if you could shed light on your Google ads and how that's going, and are you sending that to a website you have? That's something else I'd like to get into because I'd like to create a website that could be, and I don't know if it makes sense to have a website and a Facebook page, but to be found locally in search. If people type in donate books, where to donate books, where can I, whatever, donate books, all those different search terms, and that my website or Facebook page, I don't know which is better, would pop up. And that if I had a website, it would go to a page that would immediately be like, do you looking to donate books? Donate to us, whatever, have a form to fill out, a number to call, a link to Facebook, and try to get more books that way as well. Because there's Facebook traffic, but then there's also Google traffic. So anyway, I'd be interested to know about that. So anyway, so I'm gonna keep running that, and I'll update you guys as that goes forward. Yeah, I might also try to run a shorter ad because my ad is about 30, it's like 38 seconds, and Google was recommending 15 seconds or less. So it'd have to be super succinct, super to the point. It'd basically be like, are you looking to donate books? Donate to 5-10 books. I'm Andrew. We're a local bookseller, and we're glad to take your books. And 20% of the profit will go to Donors Choose. So message us today. Boom, just like super quick. I don't know if that would do better than, not the one that I have is long, super long, but it's more than double what people recommend for, or what Facebook recommends anyway. So I don't know. Okay. Michael says his focus on keywords like donate books, and then his site shows up in ad. And I'm assuming you have, so when they click on your ad, it goes to a contact page, or do they fill out a form, or is it your number? What is working for you? Awesome. We got a few more people joining us. Welcome. If you're first timer here to Flippin Live, this is our, wow, what is it? Our ninth day now, I believe, of going live. Excuse me. We started the previous weekend on a Saturday, and we've been doing it for over a week now, and we're talking about reselling and just trying to have fun here. If you guys are new, feel free to ask questions or join in the chat. Let's see. Brian said, okay. Alexander said, how are you? Here, let's put it up here. How are you pricing your kids' DVD lots, and where can I find them? What is what is the store name? Well, how are you pricing your kids' DVD lots, and where can I find them? So, first part of the question, how am I pricing them? I'm doing an auction. I'm doing auctions for most of them. However, you can do buy it now if you're wanting to try to pull more money out of it and you have patience and the space. So I recommend it. If you have patience and you have the space, do buy it now. But I like to get through them quicker. I did buy it now for a few of them, and I've actually sold 2, maybe 3, but at least 2 recently of Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks for a little more money. So like I sold, it was like 8 DVDs, and I sold it for it was like $16.99 or something plus shipping. But when I do auctions, I do 7-day auctions, and I start at 99 cents. And so eBay recommends that, and I recommend it too, because people see the low price and it gets more people interested and more people bidding. I just did a Veggietales. Let me look it up here. But I did a Veggietales DVD lot, and it was a pretty big one. It had, let me see, I have it here. Veggietales, 15. It was 15 Veggietales, all individual titles. And I started it at 99 cents, 7-day auction, and it ended up going for $36. So that's more than $2 per DVD. Now, if I sold it buy it now, could I have sold it for $40, $45, $50? I don't know. But I was pretty happy with $36, and considering that it was sold and done within a week, so I can keep it moving, and get the money, is really nice. Where do I find? What is the store name? Where can I find them? Okay, so I'm actually buying them in bulk. I'm buying. These were all from Gaylords that I bought. I have a Gaylord source that I found like 3 years ago, roughly. I live in Southern California, so it was in Southern California, and so they delivered me Gaylords of mixed media, and these all came from big 4x4x4 foot boxes of They're mixtures of DVDs, CDs, video games, audiobooks, and software all mixed together. So I'll get like 500 or more DVDs in a Gaylord box, and that's where I'll get them from. And that's why I can sell so many DVD lots. And DVD lots, in my experience, do better than any other type of DVD lot. Unless you have some sort of specialized, like old horror movies, like whatever, specific, really niched theme. Generally speaking, though, kids' DVDs lots on eBay can do really well. Excuse me. Brian says he sold his first audio cassette on Amazon this morning. Only $12 sale, but I got it as a part of a lot of other media. Oh, absolutely. We could spend. That's the fun thing about this. We could do a whole session, a whole live stream about different types of media. Just about cassettes. I'm not a I'm not extremely experienced with audio cassettes, but I have sold enough to have a general idea. I'd be curious to know, Brian, what did you sell? What was the title? Or, what was the artist, the group, the genre, etc.? I'd be curious to know. But we could talk about that for a while, just about audio cassettes. We talk about records. Hello, Eddie's here. Hello, Eddie. Awesome. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Eddie says, I sell DVDs, video games, VHS, etc. I found you a few months ago. Nice to find someone selling the same stuff as myself. Yeah, absolutely, Eddie. Are you doing that mostly on eBay or Amazon or both? I do DVDs on eBay. Video games, I do Amazon and eBay. And VHS, I do both for sure. Actually, VHS, we should do a stream just about VHS. I should plan that out. And I don't have very many examples of actual VHSs in my possession, but we could maybe go through like some solds and that type of stuff, and talk about the different types of VHS tapes that make sense and ones that don't. But a few years ago, probably like 2+ years ago, no, like 3 or more, before I got into eBay. I started selling on eBay 3 years ago, and I started FBA, Amazon FBA in September of 2014. So I'm going into my 6th year here soon this year. And I started doing just FBA, and I sent in a ton of VHS tapes. I sold over 300 VHS tapes on Amazon through FBA years ago. So I have a lot of experience with VHS, and I've sold some on Amazon or on eBay. But VHS tapes can be great. I used to really do well with those. And there's many more VHS. Most VHS tapes are not worth even looking at or scanning, but there's so many that are really great. So Eddie said not a lot of media resellers out there. Yeah, a lot of people, because of Amazon, a lot of people focus on books. So interestingly, as like the last book sale I went to, library book sale, was in February, and there were a lot of resellers, but they were mostly, almost all, just scanning away and leaving behind valuable books. I found a lot of valuable books there that they missed because they were not willing to look books up individually, or they just didn't have the eye for it or the experience, and they passed on a lot of stuff. But also, same thing applies when a book sale or any media sale has other types of items like video games or like VHS tapes or DVDs or even audio cassette tapes, VHS tapes. They will definitely pass those by. So it's good. I always talk about that. It's good to diversify. Oh, my store. Oh, Alexander, you're talking about my store locally. Well, it's 510 Books. It's on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, so if you type in 510 Books, it'll pop up. Brian sold So Brian sold Eagles Greatest Hits 71 75. Trying to keep it, sells a lot on audio cassette. Even in 2020. Absolutely. So there's certain genres like classic rock that'll do well. Um, Another couple genres that do well is punk rock or rap does extremely well. I did a quick search a couple days ago, live search on eBay for rap audio cassettes, and some of the prices were crazy. So you ever come across some rap audio cassettes, audio tape cassettes, tape cassettes, then you definitely want to look those up because even if you know nothing about rap or the genre, look them up because not all of them are worth money, but there's some that'll go for some crazy money. So classic rock, punk, rap. I mean, there's probably other genres, maybe some random country ones or I don't know, just other types of genres that. But those are the ones that jump out at me for sure. Okay, Eddie does eBay, Amazon, Bonanza. I'm not familiar with Bonanza. Oh, eBay. Oh, on eBay, it's my store is Marshall Bookman. Hold on a second. Yeah. So on eBay, it's Marshall Bookman. I don't think it says 510 books. I think it's still Marshall Bookman. So on eBay, my store is still Marshall Bookman. I've had the store. Well, I've been on eBay for 3 years, since April of 2017. But I've had my store. How long have I had my store now? Most of that time, I didn't get it initially, but after I what do you call it? After I blew past the the limit of listing on eBay before they start charging you per listing or whatever it is, I got a store. So I have the I think it's called Premium, which is the $75 a month one, and they give you 1,000 free buy it now listings, and often they'll offer free auction listings for like a week or whatever. They'll give you 200 or 500 or whatever it is, and I try to get those as well. But yeah, I have a store on eBay, Marshall Bookman, which is what this channel used to be called, but changed it to 510 Books. So yeah, I do eBay, or rather, I have a store there, Marshall Bookman. So yeah, I mean, we should maybe do that. That's a good idea, maybe to talk about these different types of media, because as resellers, a lot of people, well, especially on Amazon, people will start in books. I started. Okay, someone just messaged me about the ad I have on Facebook for book donation, so that's good. Yeah, I started on Amazon just doing books only through FBA. And I did that for about a year and a half or 2 years. And then this was before Amazon gated the music category. And then I got into CDs because I found somebody I started selling CDs like slowly myself. And then I found somebody who was a bulk book reseller locally where I live, had a warehouse space, and he had a ton of CDs that he just wanted to get rid of because he didn't want to bother selling them on Amazon for whatever reason. He was just focusing on books. And so I got tons and tons of CDs from him, stacking them in my garage, and I got into that. And that led me to VHS tapes, which led me to vinyl. I did a lot of vinyl sales on Amazon. So then that just kind of blossomed from there, and I got into Gaylords and found out, wait, if I don't sell on eBay, I'm going to miss out on a ton of money because there's this stuff that either I can't sell on Amazon because I'm gated, or it doesn't make sense on Amazon. It makes more sense on eBay. And so that's why I diversified into eBay, which is why I highly recommend doing both. It always depends on your situation and what you prefer to do, and whether you like to just keep it to Amazon and FBA because you don't want to hassle with storing and shipping stuff. But to each their own. But I recommend, the more you diversify, the more you'll find when you go. If you're going out there sourcing at thrift stores, garage sales, estate sales, book sales, media sales, all that type of stuff, or if you're buying storage lockers, or there's even online auctions. If you're doing that for media, Eddie can probably attest to this. It makes sense to diversify, to have multiple platforms. And also you can sell locally too, right? Which I've done a few times as well. So I shared with you the 2 sales I had on Amazon here. Let me share with you a couple of the eBay sales. I had quite a few DVD lot sales over the weekend that finished up. So I've got maybe half a dozen or so. I had 13 individual sales 13 sales between the individual eBay items and the lots. I had a couple of big DVD lots that I sold. Uh, Whenever I have a lot of DVDs, I'll always come across a lot that are more popular, more common titles that I already have because I sell in my warehouse locally, right? So I have a monthly sale. Usually have a monthly sale. Right now I haven't since March, but a monthly sale, and I have a ton of DVDs, and I just got a bunch of bookshelves. I'm organizing them there, so I'll come across all these DVDs that uh, won't make sense, right, for me to keep, and I can't sell individually. So I put them into big lots of around 100 or more. Usually it's anywhere between like 95 to 100, up to as many as 140, depending on how big the box is. And I'll list those as wholesale in the wholesale section on eBay, and I'll get a good amount of bids. I don't make a ton of money. I mean, I make anywhere from, I would say the range is on average is about 25 to 40 to $45 for those boxes. But again, how would I make money off of those any other way? Declutter used to be an option, but I don't think they're accepting a lot of stuff these days. All right. So here's some variety, or here's the stuff that I sold individually on eBay, and the variety. Yeah, Brian says there are lots of Spider-Man 2. There are a ton of Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 DVDs. Oh my gosh! And you know what the one is that I see more than anything is Pirates of the Caribbean, especially the first movie in the series. Oh my god, I could probably wallpaper the house with the amount of DVDs that I found of the Pirates of the Caribbean. I found so many that I started keeping the first 3. Excuse me, and I'm probably just going to sell them as a lot together on eBay, even just a few bucks or whatever. But excuse me, there's some titles that you just see constantly, and that's one of them. And Spider-Man is another. So I sold a variety of items on eBay. This one is I can't pronounce it right, but A-MEI. Yeah. And this one I sold for $8. It's kind of like a snazzy, sparkly little thing insert. But anyway, it's Chinese language CD. I believe it's Taiwanese. So a lot of these foreign language CDs, whether it's Spanish or whether it's Chinese, Korean, Japanese, a lot of them are worth looking up. If sometimes it's all in a different language, and you can't, this one has Bad Boy on it and has A-MEI. Whoops, what am I doing there? So it helped me to be able to look it up and find the artist, and then be able to figure out which CD this was and whether it was worth reselling individually. And the other thing is too, you can use is I don't know if you guys have ever used it, but you can use Google Translate. If you haven't used it, I highly recommend trying it out, because what you can do is, hold on one second, I'm going to show you. Where is it? Oh, there it is, display. Okay. So you can use Google Translate, and right there, if you just hit camera and then scan, and when you hit scan here in the middle, it'll scan whatever the text is, and then it'll translate it for you. So you can select the language to go from Chinese, let's say, to English or Japanese or Korean, or although if you don't know which one it is, but you can test them out, or Spanish or whatever, and then it'll help you to try to figure out what the CD is called if you're having a hard time figuring it out. But I sold one last week that was in Chinese, and I sealed and I figured out which one it was. I listed it, and it sold immediately within like 30 minutes for $30. So it definitely is worth your time for a lot of those. This one here is, oh, you guys familiar with Brian Tracy? He's kind of like the one of the gurus of like self-help. This is the miracle of self-discipline, the no excuses way to getting things done. And it's a CD. It's 9 CDs in there. CD set. And this one I had listed for, I believe, $29.99. I can't remember, but I took an offer and I sold it for $21.99. So this is another example of something that I pulled out of a Gaylord. But I recommend always looking. If you see Brian Tracy, he's one that's really popular. There's other ones too. Of course, there's Anthony Robbins. There's a lot of his stuff that will go for great money. But if you're getting into bulk or even just out in the wild, wherever you may be sourcing getting access to a lot of media, always look for these types of programs. They're audiobooks, but they're like self-help. Some of them will be, make more money doing this, real estate, stock market, whatever it may be. But I would always, I'd recommend looking into those for sure and seeing if those are worth it. If you can get them at a good price. But in the Gaylord, it's a no-brainer to look them up. And so that one sold. And then I had a DVD sell, Austin Powers. It's the 3 film collection. And the reason why I even looked it up on eBay is because it's sealed. And this one, I believe I sold for like $8, $7.99, something like that. So again, I have my profit chart here. And so if I sell something for $7.99, free shipping, I have a premium store using managed payments. I'll profit $3.86 off of that. So as long as I'm staying around above $3, so I can sell something for $6.99 and make $3 profit. So I will list those for sure, especially pulling them out of a Gaylord. I won't, if I find something like that that I'm going to have to buy for $1 or $2, it's not going to make sense at like a thrift store or an estate sale. If I can get it for, a quarter, then maybe. But it's mostly the stuff that I'm pulling out of Gaylords that I've already paid for, already made the money, and it makes sense for me to do that. And then there's this CD, Midnight Band, which I wasn't familiar with, but it's got a bunch of signatures on it. I don't know if that makes it more valuable, but anyway, I sold that one for probably around $10 or so. And then this one, and that one I put up fairly recently. This one here, this is one, as I've listed a lot of stuff the last couple of weeks. And here's another one that I listed, and this is one that I saw and it's sealed. I wasn't quite sure. I mean, it has Connect on it, but it doesn't really say exactly what the point of it is. I guess it's software for Connect. So I wasn't quite sure, but I just put it up there and sold it for $10. That one I just put up probably like a week and a half ago or so. And this one was a cool, let me see what I sold this one for. Here's the prices. This one. So this one here, and I'll actually show you on eBay. I'll share the screen with you. This one here is called Disturbed. Indestructible. It's a CD DVD combo situation. And this one sold for $16.99. It's from 2008. It's heavy metal. Free shipping. So this one was listed for probably a few months at least, but that was a nice sale. Heavy metal is another one that is a really good genre for, whether it's CDs, whether it's records, whether it's audio cassettes. There's certain genres like heavy metal, like classic rock, like punk, like rap, where fans of that music will pay just about anything for an item. So keep that in mind when you're reselling and sourcing, is that those are good genres to get into, either individual items or putting them into sets, into lots. I've put aside in my warehouse, I have a big stack of probably 30 or so different heavy metal hard rock bands like Scorpion and what are they called, Black Sabbath, and a lot of these other ones, Iron Maiden and things like that. And I'm going to go through them and see if it makes sense to put them into a lot and try to get more money for them on eBay versus selling them locally. See what I can do with those. So, punk, when I do a punk rock CD lot, that usually does really well. Classic rock always does well. A lot of my CD duds, or ones that I have a lot of copies of, I will put them into CD lots, classic rock as an example, and it'll usually do really well because even though it's like an Eagles title or a Steely Dan title or James Taylor or what is it, Santana or whatever, one that you see all the time, when you put them together, these super popular titles that have sold millions of copies, you put them together into a dozen, 15, 20, 25 amount of CDs in a lot, they can do well. The bidding can go really crazy, and you can make some decent money on those. Ones that you couldn't make any money on individually, and I already have copies of them for my local sale, so you can turn that into money for sure. Aaron, good vibes. Awesome. Glad you're here. And then I wanted to share this sale because this one's, I've sold these before. They are called Precept Upon Precept, which I don't know what that refers to. But I found a bunch of these. These are out of a Gaylord, and a few months back I had found probably 6 or so from another Gaylord, maybe, I think it was 6. And these are DVD sets, and they're religious themed. So we've got, and it's by a woman named Kay Arthur, but apparently these are extremely sought after. I was surprised the first time I found them, and I looked them up on eBay, and I was like, wow, these are going for good money. This is First Peter, this one's Kings and Prophets, this is Isaiah, and this one is James. So I have 4 DVD sets here. I put them together as a lot, and one of them here, First Peter, is actually missing disc 7 and 8, which is what I put into the I put into the listing to make sure people understand. I clearly state that it's missing 2 discs, but regardless, I had it listed for $69.99, and I ended up here. Let me look and see. Let me find it here and I'll show you guys. Yeah, so I ended up taking an offer of $53. Oops. Here it is. So I clearly state, as you can tell in the, or see there, disc 7 and 8 are missing from First Peter. And so I had it up for $69.99, but I took an offer. I had another offer on it before too. Whoopsie. Okay. And so I took $53 for it, I believe. Yeah, plus shipping. So that's good. Plus shipping. So it's a nice sale. If you ever find these, Precept Upon Precept, I recommend if you can get them for a good price, reselling them. So for whatever reason, they're a little more scarce and they go for great money. I think I sold those other ones that I had for some good money as well, possibly for like, I think it was like $60-$70 or something that I sold the other ones for, and someone bought it, no questions asked. So people like to get them together in lots. You could sell them individually too for good money as well. Excuse me. But so those were some of my eBay sales over the weekend, and like I said, I had some other DVD sales. So I had some other books here that I wanted to share with you that I had pulled out of. Again, guys, we've got a few people watching. If you have questions, comments, feel free to chat. So something I've done over the last few days is I I've been going through these books that I purchased for $20, probably several hundred books for $20 back in March. And I've been going through some of the books with you guys. So let me just show a couple more as I went through these that were left and wanted to share a few. So as an example, this one I showed you before is not worth any money. There's 2 of them for sale on eBay. And one of them is priced at $9.50. And it's in much better condition than mine. You can see here, it's kind of hard to see. But anyway, this is a little bit rough on the spine. It's an item I might put in my local sale. It's actually from 1963, and it's about the Whitney Museum of American Art. So it's showing off the exhibits that were there. So it's kind of a cool thing if somebody was into art or certain types of artists, that type of thing. This is a cool individual one that I found. Of Human Bondage by W. Somerset Maugham. Are you guys familiar with this author? If you are, let me know. I read one of his books years and years ago. And this one actually is really old. It's actually from let me show you. Where is it? There it is. 1915. Up there. So the cool thing about this is it's from 1915, number one. Number two, I have I actually have the dust jacket. And number three, they actually put what this is called a Mylar cover around it, this plastic cover, to try to maintain the dignity of the dust jacket. It's kind of rough though, as you can see there, the corners. So it's had some wear, it's had some issues, but overall, considering that it's intact, I looked on eBay and none of them on eBay currently for sale. No, I'm sorry, there's 2 for sale on eBay that have the dust jacket. Unfortunately, it's not a first edition. Let me see if I have it here. Okay, so check this out. So the one that I have, see if I have it here. So this is the one that I have. So you can see that's what the actual front cover looks like. It's a green, and then it's got a rectangle in the middle with red in the background of Human Bondage. And this is the modern library edition. It turns out this one's not worth as much money, even though it's super old. So let me share with you the screen. And see that one there for $7.99 of Human Bondage. Modern Library, right? 1915 went for $7.99. That's a bid though, but regardless of that, there's one below it, $9.99. So there was an offer taken. I don't think I found any others, but like I said, I found a couple that were selling with the dust jacket, but but those prices were, the lowest was like $15 or something. I didn't look on Terapeak, but anyway, so this is not like the most valuable edition, but check out this, what's sold here. Where is it? $46, but look at this one. First edition, look at this, of Human Bondage. True first edition, 1915, $350. And if you think that's something, check this out. There's another one. Wait for it. It's coming. Boom. I got to figure out how to zoom in. First edition, first issue of Human Bondage, Somerset Maugham, Duran, Doran, 1915. $750, guys. Woo! Just missed it. I have the year right, but I don't have the right publisher, the right edition. Man. So anyway, that would be pretty awesome, right? But I do know now, right, that if I come across of Human Bondage Duran, that I've got something on my hands from 1915. But this one I'm going to put in my local sale, and I'll have it go for $5 because it's just a really cool item. It doesn't sell for much on eBay according to the solds. So I like to have a good amount of older books, antique collectible books in my local sale, because there are some people that have come through who do like to buy the older stuff and like to look at that. So I will put that up there because he's a well-known, writer from back in the day. and this of human bondage. Somebody would really like to have that one for sure. Absolutely, Aaron. It helps to know authors and titles. For sure. If you find a book that's, especially, that's the thing. The book's old. I mean, it's 105 years old and it's in great condition. Although the binding is kind of starting to come out a little tiny bit there. You can see starting to separate a bit. But still, even aside from that, it's still in pretty great condition considering it's such an old book. But the fact that it's so old, and this is a very well-known author from that day, from that era, who wrote a bunch of books, and this is one of his more well-known titles. If you see that and you see a book that old, you're definitely going to want to check it out. But like I said, it depends, on the publisher, it depends on the version of it. So those are also important. If I had Duran one, I'd probably spend half this stream talking about that, and look forward to making some crazy money. But anyway, so that was fun, guys. I really enjoyed it. It's 8 o'clock, 8:02. So I'm gonna end the stream now, and I appreciate everybody that's come. If you enjoyed the stream, please leave a thumbs up. It really does make a difference. It really helps. And we're gonna do this every day. Been doing it. This is day 9, I believe. I'm losing track because it's the 11th. But then what day of the stream is it? Is it the 9th? Is it the 10th? I'm not sure, but I believe it's the 9th. And we're gonna do it tomorrow, 7 a.m. Talk about some new things. I'll let you know if there's any new changes with the Facebook ads. Oh, I'll definitely be telling you about picking up those books. I have 11 o'clock appointment to pick up what the guy says is over 100 books, and I'll share with you guys what that is, and if it's good or bad or great or okay, we'll see. Yeah, we'll talk about some other stuff. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is Flippin Live. Thank you for doing that. And check out the song, right?
Flippin' live.
This is our theme song.
Flippin' live. Flippin' live. We're gonna strive. We're here to learn and gonna earn. Flippin' live. Flippin' live. Flippin' live. We're flippin' live.
Again, guys, thank you for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I do put out, actually, let me do this right now. I actually do put out other videos. Let me show you. I'm going to actually post another video right now that is titled, "Are Multi-Volume Book Sets Worth Selling on eBay?" So if you haven't seen any of my pre-recorded, pre-edited videos, then here's one. I'm going to publish it right now, live on the stream. So you can head over to the channel and check that out if you have the time, or at some point check it out. And there you go. That's published too. I'm trying to put out at least one to two pre-recorded videos a week. And the live stream, we're just going to keep going with the live stream. As long as we're in quarantine, most people in quarantine, we're going to keep doing it and see where it goes. So I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. And I will share this with you here. Make sure, guys, that you stay safe and you wash your hands, right? Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I will see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. Stay safe. Stay away from people. Take care.